Oh man, I miss beep beep boop boop on KDHX. Oh my god, you guys, gals, and everybody, welcome to this week's video. I am the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon, and we've got an inking session in store for you this time. Torn apart the Jekyll and Hyde story. Holy crap, I am so hyper tonight because it is like 4 a.m. and I'm finally back on my normal schedule of staying up until like the daylight because I'm a vampire. I don't know, I've always just been most active at night, and like my whole life I've had to abide by this stupid 9 to 5 or actually 8:30 to 5 whatever schedule. It's like, no, that's not my natural circadian rhythm or whatever. Oh man, maybe that should be the word of Wednesday. Word of Wednesday, circadian rhythm. That's 2 words. That might be a false word of Wednesday this week. This week we're going to be discussing these gals, but first, it's probably a good idea for me to... What the heck was that? This is me trying to do a rewind. The sound of rewinding a cassette tape. Rewind it! Rewind it a little bit. Before we get into that discussion, what made me create this? What? Nobody cares, but I'm gonna talk about it. There is this really sweet, very gracious, kind gal. She's probably a grown. Anyhow, this MK Wizard, she is a creator over, she's an author, illustrator, comicer, whatever you want to call us, over on Comic Fury, and she has a couple comics up. She's got Word is the Bird, which is super cute. It's a very cute comic. I just like to say that because you gotta flip it up. You think it's gonna be one way and then it's actually another, so it's fun. It's fun to say. And it's a cute little comic that's really, it's safe for work, but it's also cute for kids. So I know that, much like myself, there's a lot of content on, webcomics that's not safe for work or for kids. So that comic actually is very kid friendly, and I personally would argue that the comic she has up, that this is the anniversary contest for, MK's Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I would argue it's kid-friendly too. I mean, I think there was a thread on there where people were like, it's not necessarily kid-friendly because there is a character who was a former prostitute, but she's not like going into detail about it. Most kids won't even know what that word means, and furthermore, I grew up with David Bowie's Package in my face watching Labyrinth over and over again. Maybe I'm not the best judge of this, but I think that's pretty mild. So I would let my kids read this comic. Maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. It's up to you. I think it's kid friendly, but don't take my word for it. I don't have any kids. But yeah, for her 2-year anniversary, she's hosting this awesome contest that she left very open to interpretation, which was so freaking awesome because I've looked at those images of all the contestants are up now, and they're all so amazingly creative. I mean, there's even like a chicken, Jekyll and Hyde. It's so cool, you guys. The link is in the description. I'm gonna put the link in the video too, so go check it out. It's really freaking cool. The things that the people came up with, some of the other people came up with. But yeah, her only stipulations were it had to be safe for work, makes sense. There's a lot of kids on Comic Fury, and she wanted it to be open to as many people as possible. And it had to be full body of both the characters, and then you had to have a background story, or at least their personality traits included in the image, or submitted with the images. You could have it like as a text blurb. I just put it in the picture because I wanted to get it all, right there in the image so that you can see where it is, which you'll see at the end of the video. But yeah, it was so cool of her to host this, and I do suggest if you like comics that are safe for work, go check her, or even if you don't. I mean, I read all kinds of stuff. I've really been enjoying it. I haven't had a chance to get caught up with the comic, but I read bits and pieces of it, and I know that once I start reading it, I'm just gonna sit there and read the whole thing, and as many of you have probably, if you watch my videos consecutively, I'm pretty behind on a lot of my work, so I intentionally avoid some of the longer comics until I've got a little bit of a breaking point, or a break point, I guess, because I know I'm just gonna sit there and read the whole dang thing, and that's the case with hers. It's very smoothly written, very easy to understand. I love her color choices, and it's very, I don't know, it's a very fun comic, and it's very creative. It's not just a word for word copying of the classic, but as I was talking about last week, here we are again. We've got this literature piece that has inspired people to create their own story. It's got a similar theme, but it's its own thing. So, I mean, that's last week's topic. I'm not going to talk about it this week, but you can see, just like Lewis Carroll, classics are a great gateway into drawing maybe young readers in, or just drawing anyone in, and then maybe you want to go back to the source material later on. So comics are an excellent way, I feel, to get people into literature. I digress. Let's get into the drawings here, the inkings here. So I wanted my characters to be opposites in every way, and we'll start off with Jekyll, of course, because Jekyll was first. She is an alchemist for the Empire. Their country had an upheaval recently, and the Empire won, and as an alchemist, as many people in various high-ranking professions had to choose between working for the Empire or being beheaded, and she chose to not be beheaded. She's a very timid character. She's very intelligent, and she just really is involved, deeply involved with her work, but she's not a people person, and she's not, I wouldn't say she's not a coward, but she certainly is very, well, in the literal sense, she is very repressed. She's repressed by her government, she's repressed by herself and her inability to stick up for herself, even in the face of, like, people who aren't being aggressive. She won't stick up for herself. So that's this character, highly intelligent, but very unsure of herself, while trying to create a transfiguration or transmutation potion for the Emperor, for something he wanted. She accidentally stumbled upon the serum that turns her into Ms. Hyde, who is her polar opposite. Hyde is very confident, she's full of bravado, very self-possessed, she is flamboyant, and the opposite of Jekyll in every way. But in addition to being her opposite, she's her own character. She's kind of like a Robin Hood figure, where Jekyll won't stick up for herself even though she hates the Empire. Hyde actively seeks out employment as a mercenary to kind of play the upper crust families against each other, and then from her earnings, what she doesn't keep for herself, because you gotta take care of yourself, she will pass on to those suffering in the lower classes. In theme with Pride Month, whereas Jekyll is probably asexual. If she was anything, she would be heterosexual. Hyde is openly homosexual. Most of the time women have long hair and dress conservatively. Jekyll herself is in the alchemist's uniform. She looks like a wizard. And Hyde is she's on it. She's wearing the dude's mercenary outfit. Well, not the dude, but dude's mercenary outfit. She's cut off her hair. And, but yeah, that's kind of what I had going on here for these characters. Initially, I wanted to have Hyde, I was thinking of having Hyde start, or Jekyll start one gender, and then the potion would make them change into the other gender, kind of like the Sailor Starlights, but I felt that would be Word of Wednesday, a little disingenuous, because I wasn't really feeling it. If I go for making a character, I try to fall in line with what I think the character's personality is, and for me, not that I didn't feel like I should have representation for trans, but I really felt that it would be disingenuous for this character to make her something that I didn't feel the character was. Because characters, they take on a life of their own, and as you're writing them, you're like, oh yeah, you get into it, and you're like, this character could be nothing else except for who she is. And so for me, that's kind of the route that I wanted to go. I want to thank you all for watching the video. Down in the comments below, question of the week: how are you celebrating your sexuality, your sexual orientation this month? If you happen to be a kid who stumbled on here, my stuff's not really safe for work. These videos are kind of safe for work, but don't answer that question. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe. And do the bell thing. I'll see you guys next week. Peace and love. Fare you well. And keep on trucking.